Declan Rice is not a player that is replaced easily. And we are proving that to be true because it looks like we're not going to be getting one player to replace Declan Rice. We're going to be getting two players to replace Declan Rice's imminent uh, departure at the London Stadium. Now, who those two people are going to be has been circulating around. I know we reported on this channel and X reported that Edson Alvarez was someone that was going to be at least one of those. But it looks as though Borussia Dortmund, having used the Bellingham money, the offer of obviously better football and maybe potential for more trophies, he is going to be lured there. Even though our project did look quite exciting to him, it looks like he probably will. There is still a chance we might sign him, but someone who's looking a lot more likely is Joao Palhinha or Fulham. Now, he was someone that last season and towards the start of the transfer window, we X reported and major news outlets reported we were going for. I know Fulham fans were not very happy with that and were given sort of like £50 million price tags for him, which I think is ludicrous. I really hope we're not paying that sort of price for a player of his caliber, because as much as I do rate him and think he had a really good season in the Premier League, you know, he's not. He's for a football player, he's getting old. I don't really understand why people are struggling to grasp why people would be calling him old, because when you reach a certain age, you've got to think about the investment. So if we spent £50 million on Joao Palhinha, we're getting, he's like 27, 28. I think he'll be 28 probably by the time next season starts. You start to really lose your footballing, how good you are as a footballer. You start losing your prime when you hit probably about 30, 31. So let's say we get 2 years, 3 years of prime Paulinha, and we're playing like 50 odd million. That's quite a lot of money for him. And in the grand scheme of things, we're getting rid of a 24, 25-year-old in Declan Rice for someone who is, 2 or 3 years older. So, I can understand why people are saying that he's too old. He's not necessarily too old. And he's certainly not a bad player at all. I'm actually a big admirer of Paulinha. I can understand why people think he's too old. It's because we've got by the time Declan Rice turns Paulinha's age, he might have even retired, and considering that Declan Rice, if we were to keep him, would be a player we could have for the next 10 years, and Paulinha is someone who could have maybe for like 6 more years. I can understand why people are saying he's too old to be a Rice replacement. I think that's where it's coming from. And obviously Alvarez is more attractive because he's younger, he's got more room to grow, and obviously we could have him for a few more years. Now, the next person who might be coming in alongside him is someone who we've been reportedly linked with for absolutely ages now, and it's James Ward-Prowse. We know David Moyes is a really big admirer of the Championship. He wants to recruit local. He wants to recruit players who don't need time to bed into the Premier League like they had to do last season. He's not messing about this season. He doesn't want a period of time where we're crap for a season because the team's bedding in. He wants players to come straight into that lineup and start playing. And James Ward-Prowse is one of the main people on his list. Now, of course, with Southampton's departure of the Premier League, he's going to be easier to sign than he would have been when he was at Southampton. Again, he's a little bit older. I believe he's 28 years of age, James Ward-Prowse. Now, anyone turning their nose up at James Ward-Prowse is delusional in my eyes. Literally just the dead ball alone is a reason to sign James Ward-Prowse. Instantly, set pieces become better and you become more dangerous with them. Instantly, free kicks. I mean, the amount of goals he scored from last season, Southampton were in the Premier League for a lot longer because of him. He's a leader. I think it just came out today that he has like the 4th most interceptions in the Premier League, up there with Caicedo and Declan Rice himself. He's not a lazy player by any means. The only thing that would ever put me off about James Ward-Prowse is his price tag. Now, with him going down to the Championship, hopefully this means we can negotiate a smaller price tag for him in the region of between, I think, probably 30 million tops for James Ward-Prowse. He's a quality midfielder, but I think 30 million has to be the most we pay for him. He's a Championship. He's a player in the Championship. He's going to want to leave. Southampton won't be able to afford his wages, and they won't be able to convince him to stay. So 30 million for him, I think, would be a very fair deal from all sides. And to be honest, I would pay it. You then got Paulinha next to him as the number 6. I probably would say around 35 to 40 million is the most I'd pay for him. In fact, I even think maybe 40 million is a bit too expensive for him. But Fulham aren't that keen to sell, but we do have European football, which we can offer him, which I think hopefully will make him push a move through. So I saw a lot of people on Twitter turning their noses up at this Paulinha, Ward-Prowse, Paqueta link up, the three Ps. And I cannot understand it for myself. I think you've got James Ward-Prowse, who is a hard-working player, as we said, brilliant on set pieces, brilliant on dead balls. I mean, I remember when Dimitri Payet was at the club, and every single time you got a free kick, you thought, honestly, this might go in. You got more excited, more reliant from him on those than you would on someone on penalties. So just that edge alone is a reason to sign him. And we haven't really got a dead ball specialist at the club at the moment. Said Benrahma looks okay from those sorts of set pieces. I don't think Creswell will have too much involvement next year, so yeah, it's like he can be taking set pieces. And also Jared Bowen from corners is good, but I'm not sure. Having Ward-Prowse in that side from set pieces would be undeniably good for us. He works hard as well, so he's going to be someone who can cover Paqueta. And the way that Paulinha sweeps in front of defences, the way that he's able to read the game as a proper number 6. And also, let's not forget, he's got a shot at him. On the outside of the box, he scored a fair few goals for Fulham this season when he's got in those sorts of positions. And I think he's a bit of a leader. So I cannot understand. I think if we come out of this transfer window with Paulinha, Prowse and Paqueta as our midfield three, I cannot understand how West Ham fans would see that as a loss. The only reason I'm thinking about that is maybe because how long we can have that midfield for, like 3 or 4 years. Combined together, probably going to cost about 70 million. So if we sell Rice for 100, we've only got 30 million pounds left. Fair enough. But what other midfielders do you think we're going to be able to attract? What other midfielders would realistically do a better job? Lavia, for me, I'd love to have him at the club, especially if we were to sign someone like Paulinha and then have Lavia as the understudy, because I think he's got a lot of room to grow. Would he come straight into the sides? Potentially not. I mean, I'd be happy to take a risk on him. I really would, but I think he's probably going to end up somewhere like Chelsea or my gut instinct is probably Arsenal if they can't get Caicedo over the line. And then if you think about that number 8 spot, or that, I guess it's a sort of a 10-8 spot that Prowse could be in, I think you've got Fornals who could fit that role perfectly. So you've got 2 players there. And I'm also trying to think who could be better. We haven't even looked at a number 8 so far. We've only really looked at a number 6. And then, obviously we know that he's someone we want to sign, Ward-Prowse. I cannot understand how that as a midfield duo would be sniffed at by West Ham fans. I mean, I think that's a perfect midfield 3. And I'm really struggling to see how West Ham fans are turning their noses up at that. Again, price is a problem. I don't. 30 million for Ward-Prowse has to be our maximum. 35 to 40 for Paulinha has to be our maximum on him. We can't be. I think rumoured around 50 million for both. There's no way we can sign them both for 50 million. That is way too much money. Way too much money. I don't want to see us spend that much on them. But if that is the midfield that we bring in for next season, I think that is some brilliant business. Who do you want to see us sign as our Declan Rice replacements? Is Paulinha up to it for West Ham? Is Ward-Prowse just, is he going to be able to do it in the Premier League the way he did last season? Who would you like to see us sign? And I'll see you on the next one.